Happy Friday, parents. This is Mr. Sally. Welcome you to another exciting Principals Weekly video. I'm blessed to be the principal here at Kimberly Elementary School, as always, hoping to build hope in action, belief in action, success in action, as we try to increase life chances for our boys and girls each and every day. I have a couple of announcements that I want to go over with you. I have my trusty dusty notes right here, and so if you listen carefully, I will try to speak a little bit slower because I think that I sometimes speak too quickly according to some of the feedback that I've received. As far as student discipline, I want to remind our boys and girls to please make sure that they are focused and on task in class each and every day. It seems as if we've had an uptick of boys and girls who have been acting a little out of character. It might be because it's getting warmer outside, and I know sometimes as it gets warmer, our boys and girls start to get a little bit antsy. It's important, parents, that you remind them that while they're here, they need to be focused. We are getting closer and closer to our Georgia milestones, which will take place in May, and I need all of my boys and girls focused. Understand, though, that if you are not behaving properly, we will follow the progressive discipline policy, which may include out-of-school suspension, which I would hate to have to do. Make sure that you are walking in the hallways and not running. There's some young people who are constantly walking. I think as soon as they walk out of that classroom, they see that massive hallway and they say it's time to ready, set, go. But we can't do that. We gotta walk, because when you run into someone else, and then now both of you are hurt. Please make sure that you remain in your seat and keep the noise level down in the cafeteria. Our cafeteria is the one place in the building I know that our boys and girls get an opportunity to talk freely. But it's important that as you are there, that you are in your seat and you only get out of your seat with permission. Parents, please remind your youngsters of that. Do not bring slime to school, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. If you have any early checkouts, parents, please make sure that they happen before 2 o'clock, and make sure that you bring a doctor's note to excuse that. We're hoping that you limit those early checkouts, because even at 2 o'clock, our boys and girls are still engaged in the learning process. Also, please be sure to remind your boys and girls that if they have a cell phone and it rings or makes noise or it becomes a distraction, it will be taken. According to the district policy, those cell phones will be taken. Parents will have to come pick it up. If they have it taken more than once, then they will no longer be allowed to bring a cell phone to school. Cell phones, again, should only be used if the teacher gives you permission to use it. One important announcement that I was going to wait to the end to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it now, is the Momo Challenge. I'm sure that all of our parents have seen on the news the disturbing Momo Challenge that has been popping up on YouTube for our youngsters. And unfortunately, some of our boys and girls have seen that as well. We're sending home a letter today that kind of talks about that Momo Challenge that's on What's Up and YouTube, and asking all of our parents to please look for the letter in your students' take-home folder today, and make sure that you have a conversation with them, ensuring they know that the information they're getting on that thing is not true. It's telling our kids to hurt themselves, and it's telling the kids not to tell you about things that they're doing in their home to either hurt themselves or others. So please make sure, parents, that you have a conversation with your boys and girls about that. Some parent engagement updates. Our upcoming Principals Chat and Chew, our next one, is taking place this coming Thursday, March 7th. We're actually going to have 2 sessions this Thursday. One of those sessions will take place from 8 in the morning until 9. The other will take place that evening from 5:30 until 6:30. The topic will be test-taking strategies. And this is important not just for our Georgia Milestone students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, but for any parent. So even if you don't have a 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade student and you'd like to get information about test-taking strategies, please make sure you attend either that morning session on March 7th at 8 a.m. or the evening session on March 7th at 5:30 p.m. Our Ronald McDonald Asthma Van will be here on March 7th. Spring Picture Day is coming up, the individual and group pictures, and that will also take place on March 7th. STAR testing is coming up for our boys and girls. You know, we administer the STAR test 2 to 3 times depending upon grade. And for our pre-K through 5th grade students, they will be taking the STAR test March 11th through the 22nd. I don't know how many of you were able to come to our literacy night that took place last night. I didn't see as many of you as I'd liked, But coming up soon in March, on March the 14th, is our Thorough Cluster Math Night, which will take place from 5:30 until 7:30. Please look out for flyers and information coming out on Twitter and Facebook about that event. Mark your calendars for March 18th. It's the teacher workday, and we don't have students on that day. If you are one of our families that are attending our study abroad trip to Mexico, you know that trip takes place March 24th through the 31st. If you have not made your final payments for that, please make sure that you contact Senorita Watley to ensure that there's some arrangements that have been made. I know tickets for air flight have been purchased, and so we want to make sure that you are not left behind because you don't get those final payments. Our 5th grade trip is coming up in April, and I need all of my parents to turn in their permission slips for that 5th grade trip. Our second payments are due on March the 8th for $20. Remember, the total cost of the trip is $50. Please note that you can turn in your permission slip even if you don't turn in all of your money, because we need to have an account on how many kids are actually going to be attending the trip. The Camp Forsen is asking us for those final numbers so that way we can get a reservation and actually know what our final bill is going to be. But again, it's $50 for all of you all. I know I have a couple of boys and girls who will be attending the Washington, D.C. trip along with Continental Colony. That also takes place that last week in March. So if you have payments that are due for that, please make sure you get those in as well. If you have any questions about that, you can contact Ms. Hinton, who's our gifted teacher here at Kimberly Elementary School, and she can help you with more information. In other news, story time with the Atlanta Fulton County Public Library is taking place on took place on Wednesday, February 27th. I hope that if your boy and girl, if your student didn't have a library card, they were able to get an application for one, and that you take them to the Adamsville Library, the Adams Library, which is right there on Calhoun Road across the street from the YMCA. We had a Go Team meeting this past Wednesday where we voted on our budget for the upcoming school year. So there's some important information that came from there. We also had Go Team declarations. It looked like I ended up having 3 parents who expressed interest in Go Team and about 3 teachers who expressed interest in Go Team. So we'll have a real election. I want to thank those parents in advance who submit their names of interest for being a part of the Go Team. And I look forward to the elections that'll take place in April. Progress reports went home yesterday, so if you did not get a progress report from your student, please make sure you contact your child's teacher and they will ensure that you get another copy of that. So this week was fun, parents. We actually rounded up, not only did we finish up with Black History Month, but we also celebrated Read Across America Week with a lot of fun activities. Today's activity ended the week with a carnival. So all of our boys and girls got an opportunity to participate in the carnival that ended out Read Across America Week. But for Black History Month, how we finished Black History Month is we actually had a group of young ladies, as well as myself, get a chance to participate in the district's Black History program for the district's central office staff. And so we had 13 young ladies who actually recited the poem, or actually the speech by Sojourner Truth, Ain't I a Woman? And then I had an opportunity to open up the program with a rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Make sure that you're taking a look at our master calendar, which you can find on our school website. And also be sure to be looking at the newsletter that comes home. Actually doesn't come home, it actually is sent to you electronically through Class Dojo, as well as tweeted and on Facebook. And if you have any questions about any information that was shared today, please reach out to our parent liaison, Ms. Harris. You can just call the office at 404-802-7600 and ask to speak with Ms. Harris, and she can help you. Thank you for taking a few minutes to join me during my weekly video bulletin. If you know anyone that isn't getting this message, please forward it to them or suggest that they contact the school and have their contact information updated to include their email address. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. We're Panthers who roar, respect others, own responsibility, always safe and ready at all times.